So you said like going into a relationship or dating with a woman, not expecting sex is like cope.
Yeah,
What is that?
a lot of guys tell themselves that when they're in the friend zone. Like a guy will sit there for like 3 or 4 years talking to this girl, wanting more. He knows he's stuck in the friend zone, but he just kind of sits there and be like, no, I'm just going to be a good friend. I'm going to sit around. Like, I'm just going to be here.
At that point, it's a matter of self-respect, though. Like, if you know you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, why not walk away? But if you do want a friendship for that person,
I agree.
Because women do have value outside of just sex.
No,
then, you know,
I agree with you on that. But the problem is that most guys can't identify when they're being friend zoned. Is my point.
it's easy to identify though. If the relationship not going where you want it to go, then you can walk away.
You got to understand that a lot of guys are socially retarded and not able to understand when a woman isn't that into them. I'm sure every woman in here has been hit on by a guy that made her feel uncomfortable, and he just simply didn't get it. And there's a reason for that. Women, you know, the one compliment I will give women is they're socially superior to men. They're able to pick up on things quicker. They're able to read the room better. They're able to assess danger. And the reason for that is because they're the weaker gender physically, right? So since they can't make up for it with strength and brutality, if a dude's a little off, he's like ticking like this, or he's a weirdo, women pick up on that immediately and like, okay, danger zone, let me get out of here. So that's why a lot of guys are kind of idiotic when it comes to stuff and they can't take the signs.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
But is it that women deserve less or men need to know more?
Combination of the two. Men need to understand their value because that's the biggest weapon when it comes to dating and intersexual dynamics is a lot of guys don't understand how much value they're bringing to the table versus the woman. A lot of the times, men chronically undervalue themselves while women simultaneously overvalue themselves. You know, if you ask an average girl, hey, what kind of guy do you want? They're going to tell you 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, good looking, good with dogs, asshole that could put me in my place, but at the same time is a nice guy. Like, they're looking for the top 1% guy, but the reality is they're very average. So I think men need to understand that not only do you have to, the burden of performance is on you and you have to be attractive, but you also need to understand that you need to be superior to your girl in every way. Because women don't look for equals despite the fact that they say they do. That's a lie.
You got anything to say?
They look for a superior. They don't look for an equal, ever. So by me giving her less, I'm actually giving her what she wants. Surprisingly.
I wouldn't say that's like giving less though. And when you say women deserve less, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they do. And the thing is that you have to make them earn everything. Because when guys come in, they start simping immediately. They start giving her money, time, attention, all this stuff. She takes that for granted. She doesn't respect it. And if she doesn't respect it, she's not going to respect you.
Okay,
and here's the other thing, too. Since women have so many options, and this has been exacerbated by social media, by the way. Like, this has always been a problem, but in 2025, with the explosion of social media, it's gotten even worse.
I think social media just made it more toxic, but I'll put that off to the side for a second.
Sure.
Let's do a hypothetical. So let's say a guy, he goes into a date, he already knows what he wants, and so in the scenario that you create, this guy he courts or whatever, they're dating, he's giving her everything that she wants, and she's giving it up to some other guy on the side or whatever.
Yep.
And so
Happens all the time.
the problem is that she values herself more than this guy.
Well, I mean, not really. She's basically using him, right? So another dark secret when it comes to modern dating and women in general, how modern women date, is what they'll do is they'll have men in certain categories. They'll compartmentalize men. So one guy will be saved on her phone as Uber. Another guy will be saved as pizza. Another guy will be saved as sex. Another guy will be saved as simp. Another guy will be saved as sugar daddy. And, you know, this is a very dark reality that a lot of guys don't understand. But we've gotten to a point now, thanks to social media and dating apps, et cetera, where women are able to basically have men in these certain roles where they can benefit them. And what I'm saying is I don't want you being saved as Uber. That's my thing when I talk to guys.
And so at that point, why is the lesson not how to have self-respect as a man instead of, like, attacking women?
Well, here's the thing. In order for you to have self-respect, you must give them less.
That's not how self-respect works, though.
No. You
can value yourself, but without tearing someone else down.
Well, you're not tearing her down. You're just mitigating risk and not giving her everything up front. You're making her earn it. See, I find it interesting that women will sit there and have these super high standards, right? And when you make them work for your validation and your attention, that's looked at as misogynistic. But when women do it, it's looked at as having high standards. Do you notice that? Double standard? So in other words,
I've never experienced that personally.
Well, that's you, man. I mean, you know, you might be better with the girls than other guys, but most men struggle in this
Nah,
situation.
man.
Yeah. See? Yeah, you got to remember, man, the average guy is struggling. Like, you know, you might be a smooth talker or whatever. I can see that you're an eloquent young man.
Thank you.
But a lot of guys don't have that skill set, you know? So.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this, like, the dating philosophy in this time is really like spitting game, and it's really technical. But I think a lot of it is just connection. So when you actually look for that in somebody, then you can get rid of everything else.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't
but
become
here's
a
the thing,
competition
man.
or a thing of leverage or anything.
Here's the thing you got to remember. Like, when it comes to, like, connection, remember that, like, 90% of guys can't even get the connection in the first place.
It's just a conversation, though.
But you're not going to have the conversation if she doesn't find you attractive up front. So, like, whenever women talk about, like, men that they like or whatever, or, like, what they're looking for, or the personality traits he's supposed to have, they're talking from the frame of they assume attraction. They assume he's already 6 feet tall and he's good looking or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I don't care. I just want a guy that communicates well. But she's not telling you that he's 6'3" and makes, you know, $50K a month.
Yeah.
She's not telling you that part, right? She's saying she wants a good communicator, but the reality is it's with certain types of men.
I think with those women, with that, like, archetype of women in particular, they're like really shallow. Like, me personally, if I see a woman
Bro,
like that,
that's a lot of women.
it's not, though, because I know
Telling you.
a lot of women who go off of the way a man carries himself or the way he speaks or the things he believes. It's not just how he looks. And part of it is how he looks.
I'm not
like,
saying it's just how he looks. It's a complete package. But what I'm saying is that they want them well-rounded in multiple different things. Typically, the more money and status a woman has, or the hotter she is, the pickier she's going to be. And this is even for average women. Average women are looking for an above-average guy 9 out of 10 times. We got 5s looking for 9s. You know, but then if you ask her, what do you rate yourself 1 to 10, she'll say an 11. 11? Like, what the hell? So, that's the problem.
So, have you like met real life examples of these guys who are trying to talk to women and they're not having any success?
A lot. Coached a lot. Literally thousands of them.
So, and what are they doing wrong?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons, right? It could be that they're socially awkward, they don't have their money on point, they're fat, they don't speak well, they stink. Like, there's many failure points for men to take an L with women. And the thing also that I think that's important is women are pickier now than ever before. So, like, you might have everything in place, but she won't like the color of your socks. Oh, I'm good, you know? So girls get turned off very easily now because they have the paradox of choice.
Yeah. See, I personally can't speak from these generalizations because I'm speaking from my personal experience.
Of course. And it's anecdotal, so you're going to be limited in what you can, you know, understand or know because you're only 19 years old. And trust me, I had that same mindset when I was 19 too. I had this whole, you know, idealism and you know, women are equal to us and everything else like that. But the reality is they're not. If I'm going to be honest, they suck at most things. Men are better than women in almost every regard.
Crazy. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But I don't really think that's true. And personally, I don't think my viewpoint is idealistic.
We're literally better than them in everything where we compete. That's why they have to have their own separate leagues.
I think.
Yeah, but nobody shows up at WNBA games. The WNBA is literally subsidized by the NBA, right? It's like we like champion mediocrity from females just because we want to be equal, right?
I think we got double standards in gender roles because men and women are good at different things. Not that men are better than this or women suck at this. Like, we have different things that we're inclined to.
I mean, yeah, she'll teach you guys how to get cats. That's what she'll teach you guys, how to get cats and get triggered. But the biological reality is men are better than women at most things. Yeah, I mean, hey, you can get on the mic. You get on the mic. She wants to tell you guys about her Siamese cats. We got a Karen in the house. Fantastic. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, yeah, men are better than women in almost every realm of competitive endeavor. It's just the reality, right? And this shows in what they're attracted to as well. Does a woman want a guy that's shorter than her, dumber than her, makes less money than her? No, she's looking for a superior. That's just how it is. It's biology. Now, I know this is like offensive, right, to the left to point out these biological realities, but women are not attracted to men that they're equal to. They'll sit there and say that, but how they behave is two different things.